Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing your February 2021 predictions. I actually combined them in last month's reading, the one that I did for January 2021 predictions. So before I get started off with that, I'm going to actually give you a little bit of background onto what is happening for the month of February. As you know, it is going to be when we look at the month of February, it is going to be a short month, as always. But I wanted to talk about some of the important astrological events that are happening this month, right? So, at a glance, we're going to start seeing the new moon in Aquarius on February the 11th, okay? And then we're going to see the full moon in Virgo on February 27th. Now, the themes this month are basically, or the themes and the reflections of these moon cycles is vision, hope, and progress. So remember, with the new moon, we are talking about change and recognizing that change needs to happen. And with the full moon, your mind, your intuitive abilities are highlighted, and they're a lot more stronger and clearer for things to come down, like spiritual downloads and whatnot. Interestingly enough, as you know, Venus is the planet of love, and that actually enters on February 1st. So there's going to be a big theme around our love lives, specifically, not because it's Valentine's Day, and it's known synonymously with love and, couples and candy and whatnot, but there is a big universal pull right now through the month of February for everybody that is focusing on love. And if you're not even looking for love, let's say you're in a relationship, there are going to be things that come up in the month of February in particular about your love life, even if you're single or if you're in a relationship. Like I said, both of them. And then another important thing is that the sun enters Pisces on the 18th. So then we start entering Pisces on the 18th, and then Mercury retrograde. Actually, what is today? I'm trying to think. When I'm filming this, I lost count, but we are actually, I believe, in the shadow right now of Mercury retrograde. But I believe it's actually starting. If it's not started today, it's starting in the next couple of days. I believe it's the 21st. I want to say that it runs through the 21st through the 20th. So I believe we already started. Let me just go back and check. I can tell you right now, I'm using this book, by the way. It's called The Magic of I, and I love. It's like a planner, but it has like all the astrological events and stuff. So Mercury retrograde goes directly retrograde on the 30th of January. So obviously, right now I'm filming this on the 24th. I couldn't remember what day it was. Hello, and I'm teaching a tarot class today, but the 24th of January is today when I'm filming this, the February 2021 predictions. But I will say that Mercury does enter retrograde on the 30th, and then it goes direct again on the 20th of February. So we are actually in the shadow period. A lot of people don't realize that when we talk about Mercury retrograde, or any planetary retrograde in particular, that at least 2 weeks prior to it going retrograde, we are in the shadow period, okay? I'm not very well versed in the astrological, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend, but I have a pretty good understanding of what, these retrogrades mean, and when the different planetary alignments, are going on. So basically, when it is retrograde, communication. Mercury is a planet of communication, thought processes, and it even controls down to our emotions. So if you've been feeling kind of erratic the last 2 weeks, because again, we're not even on January 30th yet. If you've been feeling erratic, it's because we are in the shadow period. So the first 2 weeks before the retrograde, we're in the shadow period, and then 2 weeks after the retrograde ends, we are still in the shadow period. So it doesn't mean that just because, boom, it's February 20th, that we are over and we're done with all of this retrograde crap. It's still going to be very evident. And these candles are just bothering me because I want them to show up on the screen. I don't know if y'all can see them, but yeah. It kind of bothers me when I don't have it like just the way that I want it to be. So let me just squeeze it in there a little bit. All right, so that is going on, and then we have let's see, Venus enters Pisces. So that happens on the 25th, okay? And then, like I said, throughout the whole month, there's a lot of other, planetary things that are going on in the month of February. I do feel, like I said before, and I've said it before, as we get, the collective, the energy right now of the collective is very intense. So people are very much uproar, but as we get more into the year, things do tend to subside just a little bit. And I feel like there are some worries that are kind of calmed, and then there's going to be some situations that raise up, that I can't speak of because they are political on here, that will kind of escalate and whatnot. So, but if you want my political tea, you can follow me on Telegram. It's Telegram, I believe it's like I can't even remember the URL, but I'll try to link it here to the video if you want to follow me on Telegram about the political tea, or if you want to follow me for the actual insights on Patreon, you can follow me on patreon.com/psychic medium Ray, and that is a membership. There is a monthly membership fee of $10 if you want to join. And I do like monthly reports, weekly reports, sometimes on there, sharing, insights that I can't obviously share here due to censorship and whatnot. So I'm going to get into the video immediately and start off with some of the things that I mentioned already, and some new things. Like I said, the collective energy feels a little bit more stable through the month of February, though we're still having a lot of division in the collective among people, of different belief systems or political beliefs and whatnot. I do feel like the world also is going to witness a lot of different climate change. I do feel like the groundhog may find its shadow. So I don't know. I could be wrong on that. Sorry, he doesn't find his shadow. So I believe when he doesn't find his shadow, it extends, well, whatever it is, Puxta, whatever his name is. I cannot pronounce it. No shade to that little cute groundhog, but I kind of feel like winter may be a little longer. Again, I could be wrong. And it could be, that it isn't. It cuts short. But I do feel like some parts of the United States will still have some winter. But I also feel like as we get into February, there are going to be a lot of changes in the climate around the world, not just here in the USA. Like, I feel like parts of Europe are going to have, like I said, extended winter. And then parts like Australia, I have a lot of Australian family out there. They're going to be experiencing some different things going on, especially with the virus and whatnot. That also is a big question here. People have been asking me about the stimulus, and I've said before, I do feel like there is going to be another stimulus check coming. I don't know when exactly, but I do feel like it is going to be rolled out. There is more financial relief on the way, is what I feel. And I feel like February will have a little bit clearer understanding of where that is going. I also feel like there's certain things that are not good that are happening in the world right now, that potentially could lead to, like I've said before, an unrest, and a lot of people just being erratic. You're going to start seeing a big shift of, like, a lot of these places that were closed slowly opening up, even though there is this this mutant strain or whatever. I can't talk too much about it here, but for the most part, I do get that there is going to be there's going to be a lot of people still kind of like bickering back and forth. Should kids go back to school? For those that haven't, I don't know if certain places in the world the kids are not in school right now due to the the virus and whatnot, but I kind of feel like the vaccine and that all of that is going to be rolled out to people. I do feel like eventually, like I've said before, I think it is going to be mandatory for certain people eventually, but again, we will have to. So I get that there's going to be a lot of problems, and I don't want to say problems per se, but there's going to be a variation of events that kind of happens in the administration, not just that, but also in the world itself and the way that people see it. I do feel like there is going to be more coming to light regarding big tech and how they are controlling, you know, some of the platforms and whatnot. I definitely see that that is going to change a little bit here. So we're going to see as I get into the tarot and use my oracle cards, what are the messages from spirit, what is coming forth. But there is definitely going to be a lot of different things that that happen through the month of February. I kind of also feel like there's something that's going on in Mexico. I don't know what it is with the Mexican people, right, of that country. I feel like there may be some struggles that they're going through with the virus, honestly. And not just that, but other things that are going on because, again, promises that were made to them, or in some way that they felt like there was promises to come to the USA. We're going to be seeing a lot of that kind of trickling out. And again, I feel like there's this this kind of butting of heads of the elites that we are going to be watching kind of play out through the month of February. And it may just be like, you know, not as evident, but it is going to be something that is there. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards and see what comes out. We got 2 cards already that popped out. Well, 3 cards, so I'll leave those there. Let me turn them upside down so I can get them in the order. Hope all of you guys are doing well. All right, so the first card we got here is the Two of Swords. I feel like this is a card of stress. It's a card of indecision, not seeing necessarily like the what is to come, but there's a little bit of confusion here, a little bit of stress of what is to come. 2 different kind of, it's like you're standing at a standstill, right? And things kind of feel a little gloomy, so to speak. So that's how a lot of us as the world, as a collective, not just the Americans, the USA, is starting off the month of February, right? So remember I said that earlier, there was a theme about love and whatnot. So I think that, you know, that can apply to people being at a crossroads in a relationship, or being at a crossroads with their job, not necessarily finding the joy, or if you're in school and you're studying still, you know, college, that there is some pressures, you know, maybe your mind is not focusing with everything else that's going on in the world. Then we have here the Queen of Swords, which is someone that is very determined, knows what she wants, and is cutting out. So I think for the most part that this is more mental of the stuff that's going here, because obviously the Suite of the Swords deals with the mental or the air energy, right? So I do feel like ultimately with the Queen of Swords that we overcome this. It's not something that you can't overcome. These feelings that start off in the beginning of the month, as we're in the month of February, they do tend to dissipate. And then we have the Three of Pentacles, which shows me that there's going to be a lot of you working together more as a team, or finding that, you know, you are communicating with your friends and bouncing ideas off of one another. It feels a little bit more like you need a support system, because the month starts off very rough. And you know that you're not alone. And even though you overcome this, you kind of overcome it with the help of friends. And it's kind of like the way that Spirit is positioning this. For some of you, though, we have the Five of Cups. So I do feel with the Five of Cups, there is a sense of emotional loss. Kind of walking away from situations, feeling kind of empty. So again, I feel like this month is going to bring up a lot of strong themes where you're going to have hope. and kind of find your faith of where you're at in your life right now, because a lot of us just don't feel right with the way the world is going, the way that things are, turning out. This pandemic has gone for so long already. And there's just so many different arrays of emotions that people are sharing. And it kind of feels gloomy, which is kind of like how winter months are typically until we get into the springtime. And again, we won't get into springtime until kind of like March or April. Then we have here the Seven of Wands. So with the Seven of Wands, it's kind of like you're feeling a little protective, you're feeling like a little defensive. But notice how the wands are in the bottom, right? The other wands are on the bottom, and you're at the top. So you overcome any challenges in the month of February that you're going through at any given time. It feels almost like you come out victorious, but it's still kind of like, it doesn't feel good. And when I say that, it's not going to apply to every single one of you that are looking at this channel or looking at this video. But for the most part, there are themes, maybe struggles within your family. You share different opinions or belief systems than them. Or maybe it's like, you don't agree with your boss at the job that you're in right now. Because, again, you have a different way of seeing things. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, which tells me you're going to be working very hard. A lot of you are going to be working very, very hard. Kind of hold that up to the camera so that you can see it. So this is a time where you kind of, like I said, you start off the month kind of like with stress. You kind of start off the month at a crossroads. You overcome those thoughts through friends and through working together with family, friends, and pulling together. Some of you are going to be shedding some old ways of doing things, and then fighting through that with this card here. It kind of is intertwined, but then you're going to be mastering your work situation. A lot of focus on your work and your careers, and that kind of helps you. Notice the shift in the colors. When we look at the cards, they start off like blue, grayish, and then we go into like another gray, but it's working very, very hard. So be sure that you're taking some time out for yourself. If you may be deciding to take a vacation after February, because some of you are going to be very, very stressed out. Then we have the Knight of Cups. So there is a promise. Like, the Knight of Cups can mean many different things. For me, the Cups is an emotional suite. So when I look at this, I kind of feel like this is a new love that can come into your life. Somebody that wants to offer you something, maybe like affection if you're single. Someone that, has feelings for you, if it's a friend, and they want to, declare maybe or explore and see where the relationship can go from this point forward. It feels a little bit more fluid in the month of February. A lot of you may be taking trips out there to visit a potential partner. Some of you could be taking trips just to get out of your energy that you're in right now. And maybe some of you are more able with this card, with the Knight of Cups, to give a little bit more of yourself to the people around you. This doesn't have to be romantic. This can be like friendships and things of that nature. And then we have here the Seven of Swords. So with the Seven of Swords here, basically we're seeing a lot of treachery. So you're going to have to be careful in the month of February. You're going to have some haters. You're going to have some naysayers. You're going to have people that are not on your level, that are, narcissistic. They are gaslighting you. They are just, not good energy. And you don't need that. And even though they may feel victorious and they come across that, maybe trying to tarnish your name, your reputation, God knows I can relate to that. They're not successful because, again, you have the Ace of Wands, my dear. And the Ace of Wands is a very, very good card. It's a very powerful card, which means a success, a victory, the things that you want. It's also a very creative card. So a lot of my visionaries out there through the month of February, I kind of feel like a lot of you are going to be gravitating towards new projects, new goals. Maybe, like I said, a marriage, maybe getting engaged, maybe taking a relationship to the next level. But this feels good. So no matter what happens here, it's going to feel good. But then you also feel with the Nine of Wands kind of like, you've been working very hard. It hasn't been an easy path for you, an easy road, right? And it's kind of like conflict through the month of February is inevitable. And this is going to be even something that you see through the media, in the headlines. Even though our president, I still say he's my president, not Joey B, but, Trump. You're still going to see, people still dragging his name through the media, people blaming him, etc. Because, it's a basic shit show, and I'm just gonna say that's how it is, and it's going to continue to be something that pervades the minds and hearts of America, in other countries as well. So even though that person is no longer in the administration the way that we would see it through the mainstream media, right? You're still going to see a lot of division in the world, and this is the Five of Cups. So it's kind of like a lot of people are trying to find a norm or trying to get together, but it's very difficult, the energy here. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of people going at each other. There's a lot of scrutiny that is going to go into this new phase that we're in. So this is overall the energy for the month of February. Like I said, there's going to be some sugar sprinkled in this whole month. It's not as bleak as it seems here with the cards. This is just a snippet, like an overall snippet of the month. But again, things do tend to get a little bit better as we get more into the month of February. So now I'm going to actually use another deck, and I'm going to give you some insight messages. This is my Angels, Gods, and Goddesses deck by Tony Carmine Salerno, and I love this deck. And these are angel messages for you guys for the month of February. So let's shuffle. All right, so here we have the cards. The first card I got here is the Angel of Support. It says, the universe has heard your silent call for help. So the prayers that a lot of people have been making throughout the world, the petitions, the things that have transpired in the world, the call for unity, the call for, coming together as brothers and sisters. I do feel essentially what this is saying is that God, is paying attention. The angels are paying attention, and there is healing to do with everybody and every single thing that we're going through. Does this mean that we're all going to get along, that everybody's going to go back to the way things were? No, that doesn't mean that. But it does mean that for you, the main thing here is to keep praying for the world and praying for your brothers and sisters out here in the world, because we're all interconnected. We are all one, essentially. But also that, your petitions, your own personal petitions or prayers to God or to Source, on whatever you want, they are being heard, okay? Then the next card we got here is the Angel of Relaxation. Let go of the desired outcome and you will get what you want. So again, sometimes when we focus too much on what we desire, on, the wants that we have, it kind of creates a block or stagnation, and we cannot get ahead. So Spirit is saying here for you to trust, unequivocally have that trust and that faith in the higher power, that, you need to relax and not be so stressed out. Remember I said earlier in the reading, without even knowing that this card was going to come up, that there was going to be a lot of stress in the beginning of February. And I kind of feel like throughout the whole month, it is a very stressful month for some people. It may not be stressful for every single person, but you need to kind of find some relaxation. Sometimes your connection to Spirit is a lot greater when you're able to relax the mind, okay? Then we have here the Goddess of Justice. What seems an injustice is actually a blessing. So remember, if you are maybe professing your love or your affection to someone and you're getting rejected, perhaps you applied for a job that you really, really wanted and you got rejected. Perhaps you wanted something, maybe somebody to pay you what they owe you, and they didn't come through with it, and you feel like a little bit of rejection here. This is to let you know here, like I said, that it's actually a blessing in disguise, okay? So do not be upset about whatever doesn't go your way. Remember what I've always said here on my channel. Any kind of rejection is a redirection. It's basically the universe, and I know that sounds kind of cliche, but it is essentially that. It means, you know, that whatever is not, whatever you want, sometimes we don't get what we want. We get what we need, and it may not feel comfortable in that moment. It may not feel good for us in that moment, but it's exactly what you need at that given time. And then we have here, goddess of compassion. Self-criticism is diminishing your sense of self-worth. Again, being very critical. All of us perfectionists out there, all of us that want to keep up with the Joneses, everybody out there that wants to have the next Louis Vuitton bag, they want to have the newest YSL heels, right? I'm just using that as an example. You know, it is something where, you know, it's unrealistic, it's more materialistic, and it's shallow. You know, essentially, sometimes the less that you have, the more blessed you feel and the more happier you feel. Sometimes the people that have this, you know, desire and this deep want for name brand stuff, and maybe, you know, to kind of like show out or show off, it doesn't really mean anything once you have it. You know, once you have it, that kind of desire wears off, and then you're left with that, you know, why was I so obsessed with this? Like, why did I obsess over something that really doesn't mean anything in this physical world that we're living in? So again, they want you to have some compassion and not be so harsh on yourself, on your decisions. Sometimes we beat ourselves up constantly, and we're like, why did I make this wrong decision? Why was I, you know, why did I do this? I'm so dumb, I'm fat. You know, all of these fat shaming thoughts and the thoughts of embarrassment or shame. I'm not perfect enough, this person's not gonna like me because I'm overweight or whatever. Eliminate all of that negative self-talk and replace it. And I know that I'm preaching to the choir here, but I'm also preaching to myself, because I am guilty of that. I can tell you and sit here and tell you that I do that sometimes to myself. You know, there's days that I feel unpretty. I mean, it's common. But then I pull it together and I remember who I am and you know, my purpose here. So again, that's what Spirit is wanting you to do through the month of February. You know, I'm your family here, your soul family, and I'm here to give you these messages, and hopefully you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it kind of gave you some good perspective on what to mainly focus on through the month of February for yourself and for your loved ones. And again, to keep up your prayers, keep compassionate, you know, not try to focus on the things that you want to control, but rather the things that you can control. You know, the things that are outside of your control, don't focus on those things. But the things that you can change those. All right, guys, I love you so much. Again, I'm going to drop some links in the video below. But thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to follow me, like I said, on Instagram at Psychic Medium Ray and some of the other platforms. I love you so much. Until next time. Bye.